Once upon a time, there was a girl, and the girl was determined to figure out the meaning of life. When the girl turned 20, the urgency of her need to know moved to the foreground. Why was she here? What was she here to do? What was the point? And so she began to ask and study and practice different religions and philosophies and ways of being, but none of them delivered what she was searching for. And so, when the girl turned 30, she left the world of religions and philosophies and modern culture to cultivate a relationship with a cushion. Like the Buddha 2,000 years before her, she walked away from her family, her friends, her job, her culture, and moved to a rural hermitage where she sat down, shut up, and listened. Over time, she began to get still. Her mind slowed, her emotions calmed, and her nervous system settled down. She ate simply, lived close to nature, and released the desire to be part of the mainstream world in any way. In her 7th year on retreat, one day, while sitting during an extended silence and fast, the girl broke through into a vastness hard to describe with words. In that experience, she finally felt whole, at home. Everything made sense. And so the girl rejoiced and rested there. When the girl turned 40, she felt an urge to enter the world again, but she stalled. Unbeknownst to her at the time, an ancient, encrusted belief was still lodged in her consciousness and tried to make her die into the vastness, to transcend her humanness once and for all. Now that the girl had communed with the vastness, she understood why humans held this belief. It's so peaceful and complete. Why bother being human if you could just be that? But the girl found that she could not just be that. Her focus on dying into the vastness kept ricocheting back at her. It showed itself as an impulse to live from that vastness, as that vastness. It called to her with such urgency, she was forced to yield. And so the girl left the safety of her hermitage, where for 10 years she had sat, where she had met and married the vastness. And the girl ventured out into the world searching again, this time for ideas, beliefs, and people who would corroborate her experience on the cushion with her impulse to live, and who would help her do that. And slowly but surely the girl found them, her people, here and there, a tribe of fellow pioneers, both in touch with the vastness and acknowledging the divinity of all life. A tribe of pioneers working to integrate the two in their every deed and every breath. And so the girl began to frame her experience as a whole with 2 interweaving parts. One she calls masculine and the other feminine. Her 10 years on the cushion she views as her deep dive into the masculine. It already lived and breathed in her ancestral DNA, and she simply met it head on. She chose to embrace and embody that stillness, and continues to access it as the ground of her being, the compass of her actions, and the foundation of her unique human life. And the girl calls the movement in life, as life, the feminine. When disconnected from the stillness, she viewed the feminine as cast into a sea of chaos, inevitably ripping her apart and wrapping her in suffering. But the girl found that when tethered to the masculine, to this sacred ground, she is free to love, to dance, to create, and even to die with joy. And so now the two are held as equal partners. A sacred marriage is consummated, and the journey of being fully embodied and alive begins again and again and again. And so the girl lives happily ever after.